was watching an episode of Stranger Things 3 the other day, actually the last episode, and I was pretty intrigued to see this game shown on the ending scenes. This is the Dungeons and Dragons game, if you haven't seen or heard of it before. It's the basic rules, set 1, and this is how it began. This is sort of like an updated version. They have many versions of this before, but this was like when I got it back in 1984. It was one of the earlier sets, so one of the basic rules that you would use to start playing off the game. So I didn't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons. I just knew that it was very popular, people were playing it. So I just went out to the store and I picked this game up. Maybe it was, I'm not sure, maybe it was dying out back then or not, but I always get late into the game, but I got it nonetheless. Now this game is, you would think that it was pretty old, so it started back then, but if you read the back of this game, way down here, you can't really see it, but it says copyright 1974, 77, 78, 81, and 83 by TSR Hobbies Incorporated, all rights reserved. Now that's really old, and I thought I could just show you the back of it as I did right now, because in Stranger Things they don't really show you the back, they only show you the front of it. And this is what you get like a crayon, you get all these dice, you take the crayon and you rub inside the numbers where the dice are, and then it can show you the numbers a bit better. I did something special with my dice. I did not use the crayon that came with it. I still have it in here. And reading in the back of this, it says, as you whirl around your sword ready, the huge red fire-breathing dragon swoops towards you with a roar. So you have to really use your imagination. If you were wondering what they're doing in Stranger Things when you're playing this, are they just play acting or something like that? It's an imagination game for those who don't know Dungeons and Dragons. And I really didn't know what the concept of it was, but they have a marketing hook here, and it says here, Dungeons and Dragons, a game is a way for us to imagine together, sort of like reading the same book or dreaming the same dream. But it's a book that you can write without putting a word on paper, just by playing a D&D game. Yes, so you might also hear Dungeons and Dragons also called D&D. That's just like a nickname for it, a colloquial name, what everybody uses. So here it is. Now I have a neighbor, I went outside and I saw this exact same picture. I haven't even opened this game in like 20 years or more. Must be way over 20 years. And this game is, I would say, over 30 years old. And I saw his shirt and I said to him, hey, I know where that came from. That came from the first D&D game set. And he goes, how did you know? And I go, I know, I have it at home. And yeah, we just started bonding over that, strange things. Now I'm just going to open this up, the basic rules, if you've been waiting so long. I'll just put it right here like this. Now you can see that I had some game paper set up and I was using that, but look at the game right here. I'm gonna put this over here. I put the paper aside over here. Now you can see I have the dice here. They're all here. I didn't lose any of them. Why? Because I never really played this. And here's that crayon, brand new. I never really used it. And you can see the dice here. I'll just bring it closer up. See? Oops, I dropped one. And I don't know why this one is red. Maybe a special dice. But you just basically, they have many sides. You just throw it. And I think that's the 20-sided dice or die. And if you could look closely, they have nice little red colors instead of the white crayon that they wanted me to rub inside the numbers. I had a set of neon crayons when I was younger, and I just thought it was A lot better and special to use these neon ones. So I'll just put that here. So you can just see them there. And I'm just going to open up the book if people are interested in what the book looks like. And I'll tell you one of the reasons why I didn't get into it. Look, there's a bit of graph paper, and it's actually really good. If you like reading, you like seeing about fantasy, you can read all this. Look, there's a picture of all the dice there, what they're used for. This is the player's manual, and you can see here, read this book first. So heaven forbid you read the Dungeon Master's book. Yeah, nothing will make sense to you. So if you look through here, it's actually really good. It has great artwork like that. Shows you how to write in the sheet. I think you have to make photocopies of those. But look at all this reading. I think it's mostly for reference. Look at the great artwork. It looks just like Lord of the Rings. Fantasy. Quite exciting. Well, here's the I think you take a photocopy of this and then use it in the game. More advertising. Now, DnD was so big, and it's still big. I went to a relative's home, and I saw the D&D games. They all have cards now. You don't really have to imagine. You can just take the card out of the pack and follow what it says. So this is the player's manual. Dungeons and Dragons. I still like this picture. It's really cool. Just put it aside. I wish they had a different artwork. But it's the same. Goes, read this book next. Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Master's Rulebook. Yeah, so I remember back when Dungeons and Dragons was really big, they had a whole bunch of these Dungeon Master's book, and they make you go through many different games and imagination. I think it would have been a really great game to keep on playing. I didn't really play it that much. I played it with a few people. Well, I have to admit, I could say I tried to. And I felt really kind of jealous of those people who could keep at it, keep playing this game. You know, there was lots of hype, and so much hype that that's a really excellent picture. So much hype that you know, people say that, you know, there's some devil worship going on, and I think they just got scared with pictures like this. But you know, I think it's really great artwork, and you know, people just didn't understand the game, and people were saying like, oh, people are being led to kill people. But you know what? You get that every maybe some map symbols here. You get that every year, you know, with all the video games and stuff like that. But well, look at video games now. I guess this is a precursor to the video games. Although it's around 1980s when video games were really big, and this kept its own. Like, it was really good. Like, if you want to play video games, or do you want to play D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, you have to make a choice there. So it's like sort of like, are you disco or are you rock back then? You know, you make your friends. You know, like a political party or almost. So if you want to play D&D or you want to play video games, and wow, oops. Just want to show you this last page. I wonder if this still exists. Now, TSR Hobbies looks like, if I go closer, they have what they call the RPGA Network. 1983 TSR Hobbies. So, if you want to join that group, here's the membership rates. 5 years, $40. What a bargain. Overseas, so let's see, US $30. Okay. Wow. You can come from all over the world, but you have to pay in US funds. And there's the address. So imagine if I wonder if this still exists. So I'll send this application in, and they'll take a look at it and they go, wow, they got some original application form. Just like the lady who went to Disneyland on a ticket from the 80s, 1980s. She remember she had it. She never redeemed her ticket to go to Disneyland, but she actually redeemed it. But I believe they gave her a copy of that ticket. Well, anyways, this is, as I said, the game that I saw on Stranger Things. I thought it was really nostalgic that I could see it, and I still have it at home. If you're quite interested, yeah, look this up. Look further. I think I saw some long time ago on eBay, or people talking about it. They were trying to sell it. I don't think it's worth anything. It's kind of old. It's more for a nostalgic reason. So if anybody's interested, want to ask me some questions, or if you want to share some good stories, please write us some comments. Please subscribe. And thank you very much for hanging on in and listening to the end of the video. And watching too, of course. Bye bye.